Hola. No, well, that's not you right now. This is not main campaign. You shut your mouth.
I got told to do it.
Oh,
What
did
the
you?
fuck?
Oh,
Yeah.
well, go ahead.
What the fuck?
No, go ahead.
Hey, everybody, have you? Okay.
Nicole,
Hey, everybody, do you notice anything different?
No, really, go ahead.
Between us? Look at us. We're all dressed up really cool. Obviously, we are all dressed kind of interesting, as you see some wings and bunny ears on us. We are doing the Vampire of the Masquerade one-shot, ran by, let me make sure I'm doing this right, Logan. And I'm very excited for it. Let's get into the announcements. Let's talk about our costumes and get into the fun.
Yeah. I am Tinkerbell. So, a little wand action here, a little wing action here, and then
Tinker
green.
Butch.
If you don't think it's green, it's green. Tinker Butch, sorry. Yeah. I don't have a Russian accent because Tinkerbell doesn't talk.
Do you not have Russian accent because Tinkerbell isn't Russian, or because you can't
That's
do
not
Russian
true at all.
accent?
Have you never seen the Tinkerbell movies?
Yeah, word.
Oh, like the actual ones? Yeah. No,
or Hook.
I don't know.
Talks in that.
That's
Be
fair.
honest.
That's fair.
Can you just not do Russian accent, Joe? Is that what it is?
I don't have my vodka.
Anyway, I'm playing Logan Bunny, the gender-blended version of Lola Bunny in the boxing arc / era of that show. Hence the black eye and the bunny ears. Should be interesting. Who are you playing, Brad?
I am playing Cho Chang. I feel like the name is pretty unisex. Harry Potter character, pretty cool. She falls in love with Harry, and when Harry kisses her, she's so violated by it that she cries. So it's pretty cool. That's what I'm playing. Yeah. I wanted to play Katara, but I threw the costume in the dryer, and it was way too small to put on. So
you should have just sent that bullshit. Yeah, you should have sent that shit.
You're Canadian, bud. That's what we do.
Would have been so funny. Could you imagine
that would have been
trying
10
to fit
times
into that?
better. But if you have Shang,
it would have looked like this kind of thing.
That would have been great.
You're lean enough. You're fine.
So, technically, I'm supposed to be Marshall Lee, but the gender bent quote unquote version. So Marceline, really. I will say, I don't have a gender, so trying to do a gender bent was weird, but we're here.
It means you get more options. So that means
yes, you can do anybody. You have to pick certain
You know
characters.
what? That's fair.
Boo!
Yeah, they can do whatever they want.
So, how about those sponsors?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brandon is not here.
I know.
Should have been here.
But it's W Energy. I hate wearing fingernail polish. I don't know if it'll show up on camera, but it twinkles in the light. I have glitter on because I have snow powers as the Abominable. Don't you know? First sponsor of the night and always the sponsor of the night, realistically, since the very beginning of this campaign, which we are 40 plus episodes into, plus the one-shots.
Yeah.
Is W Energy. And if you go to W.com and you buy stuff and you type in promo code at the end of Nat20 Beards, you get 10% off order. And that is whole order. Not just one thing. You can buy multiple things and you get 10% off whole cart. It is amazing. Das Vidania. Anything else?
Make sure you check out our merch store.
Are we
Have
not
some
going to
awesome
talk about
merch.
the loot box? Oh man, the merch store has gotten like so many new items.
You gotta go check it out. There's only, if you scroll down a little bit, even on your phone, if you swipe up, there's a link right to it. Not only that, there's a link to look at that shirt. Embrace insanity. We've got to write scripts. Down below as well, we got a loot box. If you subscribe to the loot box, you get a bunch of cool stuff in the mail. Like I'm pretty sure you get a one-shot, I believe, some dice. Joe?
So it's it's Dragon's Nest delivery. It is a subscription box once a month. It comes with a copyright-free module. This month's theme is Halloween, bringing you through a crypt in a creepy manner. It also comes with music for that. So if you're running it on Roll20 or in person, you can play music and it cues you in depending on the scene that you're at. It comes with metal dice, and it also comes with Japanese snacks and candy.
The fact that it comes with metal dice is worth the $40 a month. Hard set by itself. It comes with a full set of metal dice, done. Plus candy for a fat man like myself.
I was gonna say it's basically I don't have a session prepped. Oh, bang, and snacks that we're ready to go. Do people want to come play? That's all it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like hey, you guys want to play D&D this weekend? Yeah, man, I love playing D&D. Oh, but I don't know what to play. Shazam! Now you do.
Boom. That easy.
No DM planning nightmares.
And with the announcements out of the way, I think it's time for our one-shot intro. Whoa.
Sick intro.
That was awesome.
I like it.
You take away.
Okay, see, I wasn't sure. I've never done this before, so I'm like, when do I come in? Hello. Good evening, everybody. I will be your storyteller today. I'm going to be introducing our players and our lovely audience, for those who don't know, to the wonderful world of the Vampire Masquerade. Some of you might be more familiar with the overall universe called the World of Darkness. They also have a companion universe, or not really universe, a companion book called the Werewolf Edition. And it's quite a bit of fun, but I felt like it would be a little much for us the first time out. So we're just sticking with vampires. Now, let's get into the game, shall we? Our group of players, our wonderful, wonderful players, they are all cobbled together currently. A small group of vampires that are technically subcontracted through another company. We won't name names, it's not really necessary. Those who need to know will know, and those who don't, well, it's not your business, now is it? Together, this evening, they're hanging out in their safe house, an unspecified location in a compound that they've been allowed to use thanks to one of the 13 factions in the Vampire Masquerade world, the Ordo Dracul, or more commonly known as the Order of the Dragon. They are, in fact, one of the 5 major covenants in the Masquerade. And this group has decided that our subcontracted vampires here are the ones who should be doing the dirty work for them. As the Ordo Dracul, while they do believe more in science than they do in the politics of the Masquerade and the Camarilla, they don't like to get their hands dirty in public. So it's best to let others take care of that. It's been an uneventful evening so far. You've been awake for maybe an hour or two. The sun hasn't been down very long. Your handler, Wilder, an individual who is very clearly part of the Ordo Dracul and in fact is considered an initiate. Um, he is off to the side, as this room is fully furnished. Everything you need or could want to be comfortable is available to you. You've all even had the opportunity to feed on a blood doll, which is the term for the humans that offer themselves up to be fed upon. And as such, your hunger is sated. You have nothing to do but to idle away the hours until you're told to go do something. Um, our lovely mobster, Sal, actually, would probably know at this point that the past 3 jobs that you guys have been given have been not necessarily big, more that the Ordo Dracul was testing you, seeing just how well this group of mercenaries they've decided to keep on retainer is good, how useful you can be to the Order. Wilder, like I said, is in the room with you. He's not a very tall man, only about 5'6". He's much older than you, about 250 or so, give or take. Not that he'll share that specific age. That's not fair to anybody. He has some gray around the temples with very thick swooped hair, very well put together. He's not necessarily wearing a suit, but he is wearing business casual clothing, a dark shirt, some slacks, and a pair of shoes that make him look really nice. He's currently sitting on one of the couches that are in this room, flipping a coin between his fingers, boredly. He hasn't really interacted with any of you, and in fact, you get the idea that this individual is aloof. He's very cold. He only really prefers to speak business with all of you, and if it isn't business, he's quite frankly uninterested. The quiet evening that you've just started gets quickly interrupted by a phone call coming through Wilder's phone. And he picks it up, and he takes a minute, and he goes, "Hello? Really? Well, isn't that interesting? Don't worry. I'll take care of it." And then he hangs up, and he whistles, and it gets all of your attention. "Well, it looks like you're useful once again. Get close. Sit down. I'll give you the important information before I send you on your way." I assume we all meander over and sit down close by, or at least come stand next to him. So he considers the group of you for a moment. His eyes may be lingering on one of you a little longer than the rest. And he flips open his phone again, because this is forgot to inform our lovely audience. The setting that we're having tonight, the lovely setting I've chosen, is Atlanta in 2005. So currently, the top market technology is a D6000 Samsung flip phone. It is the peak of phone technology right now,
Fuck yeah.
okay? It is big deal. So he flips open his phone after he gets a message that comes through the ShrekNet, which is a network of information only accessible by vampires thanks to the Nosferatu, which is another clan. And after reading it over a moment, he looks at you all very boredly and says, "The Ordo Dracul has heard rumor that there's a mortal who's entirely immune to the disciplines, the vinculum, and blood addiction. There's no explanation. Work on him. It is your job," and he gives you all a very pointed look, to locate this human and bring him to a location that I send you. Do you think you can handle that?
I mean, it sounds easy enough. Should be all right.
Don't need my powers to subdue a human, regardless of this.
Logan's gonna put up his hand.
Yes.
Logan's got one question. Is he immune to fists?
Oh yeah.
Wilder
Yeah, vampire.
Wilder stares at you for a long, silent moment and just reflects upon the choices that got him to where he is today. And the fact that he very much would like to stop being an initiate in the near future, and that he must indeed deal with this. Well, since he's a human, I assume he's just as pathetic as the rest of the cattle are.
That's
Would you like to
easy
know-
work.
Would you like the information that I have? Because I don't have much, but I can give you a little.
Knowing where this human is would be very beneficial.
That's your job now, isn't it? The human's name is Timotheus Hale. He's a man. He's 26, and to our knowledge, unemployed. We don't quite know exactly where he is, but we do know he's close enough to this city, Atlanta, that they've decided to send you to go take care of this problem. Well, not really a problem, I suppose, but I'm sure many will come from him. Any other questions?
Does it matter if he's alive?
I like that question.
Obviously, it matters if he's alive. I don't care about a human's life. They're insignificant. They live such short lives, and they're really just a good snack. But I suppose the Ordo Dracul needs him alive, and as such, he better be alive when he makes it to a safe house. Am I understood?
What about conscience? Can I knock him out?
Understood.
I don't give a shit what state he ends up in as long as he isn't dead.
Logan, you don't normally do the thinking. Why don't you leave it to the professionals,
You point my fist, brother, and I will punch. You find him. I'm taking along.
Yeah, listen to the career criminal. I'm sure we'll go real smooth.
And who has the most money out of all of us?
Who cares about that stuff?
Who's got the most KOs?
Me.
If you're quite finished, I have other things to go do in this evening.
We got the Jask. Let us worry about the results.
Good.
It'll be
At least
taken
one
care
of you understands.
Or not. Good, should have reached
And
that.
with that, he stands up and just things doing. Now, you know from previous contracts that your trying to think of the word. The individuals that have hired you, the order that has hired you, you know that they have given you complete and utter access to anything and everything you could need to accomplish your goals. So you have plenty of space to go sleep if you need be. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention they've given you 48 hours to accomplish this task, with the understanding that you will need to sleep at some point during the day. Well, okay, for the viewers, sleep is a very loose term for the vampires of the masquerade. During the day, they don't necessarily sleep. They just do not exist during the day. So it's kind of like being shut down. you know that you have access to a quote unquote company card. So if you need to make an expense, you can use that, and it is unlimited. You have access to a vehicle and can go anywhere you need in the city if you can get somewhere. Each of you has a cell phone that is connected to each other. The only contacts in the phone are each other and Wilder. And let me see. I did write down notes for this. Hold on.
Yeah, y'all are gonna have to run over
So
this cell
the card
phone
you were
thing
given,
again, because I don't know how to use these things.
it's black and nondescript. Your cell phone, like I said, it's got everyone's number and and Wilder's number. You all know from being as old as you are as Ensile, you know that most vampires are not really allowed to use technology, at least not younger vampires, because the moment that anyone can track down that you're a vampire, you will be beheaded. Like either the Camarilla will take care of you, or vampire hunters will take care of you. So it's a little taboo being allowed these cell phones, but they've decided to trust that you're not going to give away any of the masquerade. Let's see. You yes, you have access to a bank account of undisclosed amount for any necessary expenses during the retrieval process, and you are more than allowed to utilize any and all resources that you already currently own. So a note it pops up on one of your phones a little, just a few minutes after Wilder exits and leaves you to go do whatever it is you do. And it specifically states that if completed, like if you complete this goal and this task perfectly and to a T, there's an extra reward involved in for every single member. Doesn't specify what that reward is, but with the Ordo Dracul, there's no telling what lengths they're willing to go. Your goal, ultimately, is to locate Timmy's whereabouts, retrieve him, call your contact for a drop-off location, and make the drop. What do we do from here?
So I was gonna take out like a little black book and just start jotting stuff down based on all the information that the group's been given. And trying to just think through places that he might know of where this unique human might be based off of, because you gave us brief description of not who they were, but just their name.
Yeah, I can repeat that too if you need.
No, I guess I'm curious. Did the name or like any of the information have locations at all, or was it more like
no?
This is the person.
The only thing you were given was a name, his gender, his age, and that he's unemployed. You don't know where he is. Your job is to find out his location and retrieve the human and drop him at the location that you're given from Wilder. You, Sal, would know that through, well, you specifically, Sal, but also Earl, you would both know that you have contacts that you can engage with to find that kind of information out. Sal probably would have more, not necessarily an easier time to do so, but you would have a quicker time of getting the information you wanted just because of the contacts that your family has. Earl, however, has would know that he's got a really solid human contact that could very easily look up somebody and find some good information on them, like their home address, if needed be.
Earl.
Yeah, I have 3 human contacts. However, I also have the living in the past flaw. So I'm not sure what y'all want me to do
Yeah.
with this cell phone, but I mean, I'll hold on to it if I have to.
If you have someone in mind that could answer what we need, you can always ask me. My family's contact list runs deep.
Well, I mean, I could run over some names.
Why don't we start there?
I mean, if that's what you want, you know. I figured you being the criminal that you are, you'd have some sort of back alley, half-assed way to get it done. But I mean, if you need the lawman to take it over, that is no problem with me.
Criminal's a unbeautiful word. Family doesn't traditionally get caught. We're not criminals.
Do you participate in illegal activities?
Of course not.
Okay, so you're a liar and a criminal. That's great. I'm so happy to be part of this group.
Not illegal if you don't get caught.
That
That's
note,
right.
actually. Discussing the beauty that is the family that he comes from. On that note, why don't we describe to our beloved viewers what everybody looks like? Starting with Sal.
Yeah, go first,
Yeah.
pretty boy.
So, Sal Capone is your very, very traditional mobster from the early 1900s. Has pinstripes, always has a fresh red rose in the pocket. Nothing else aside from just a red little pocket. I forget what they're called. I'll just say hanky.
Pocket
I forget what they're
square.
actually called. Yeah, that works perfect. But it's clean cut. It's not like one of the ones that's like floofed out. It's literally just a rectangle straight across. White tie with a black undershirt, wearing all black other than that. The only piece of detail on his whole appearance that's different is the fact that his hat is white with a black stripe. And obviously, it's like
Fashion statement.
one of those nice mafia. Yeah.
Yeah, fedora.
Mafia.
I was going to say bowler hat. And I was like, that's not it.
That'd be my time period.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Who wants to go next?
Anyways.
I kind of want to know what Macho Man Randy Savage looks like.
Yeah, because I'm playing like a similar character at the same time. But
Snap the Slim Jim!
yeah, so Logan Bunny is really tall and well, like a little taller than average. But he's got like a really big muscular set, like top heavy wise, being a boxer. He wears nothing but this pink robe that I'm wearing all the time, no matter what. He's got big beard, a twirled mustache like I have, a tattooed nose like a bunny, with the whiskers to boot. He's in the whole persona of that, just because of like his past experiences and such. He always just has like a simple rucksack with a few belongings, not much, and wears like combat boots that do not go with the outfit whatsoever, but they keep his feet dry.
Flashing like a motherfucker.
And his hands are always covered in cuts and scrapes, which mine are always covered in cuts and scrapes from work. So it makes a lot of sense. This ain't makeup. But yeah, his knuckles are like always like bruised up. His eye, he usually has one or both eyes black or shut closed. The swelling today is low, but you still see some from previous fights. Yeah.
Not. And that leaves me, right?
You and me.
Yeah.
You want to go first? I can go last.
I can, yeah. My character is Merle Earp. He is the nephew to the famed lawman Wyatt Earp. He had to grow up mostly without a father because Virgil ended up getting shot when he was walking to the saloon one day after the OK Corral shooting. He grew up with his friend until his untimely death of Doc Holliday, so he carries the same setup that Doc's got. He's got a 3-inch 38 caliber single action revolver he keeps underneath his left shoulder where he can cross draw with his right hand. And then he's got a 7-inch barrel 45 caliber Colt double action that he can cross draw from his hip. He also wears a black gambler style Western hat. And he's got a white shirt on with a black vest, no tie. He has the top two buttons unbuttoned. He's got black slacks and cowboy boots. And he's got the cowboy buzzsaw only on his left shoe. And he also has a long black duster.
Nice.
Very nice.
My character's name is Orlando Martinez. He's an Italian detective-looking individual with a sharp jawline and a lot of facial hair that's just a pure and static 5 o'clock shadow. You can see in the depths of like his eye sockets, he's seen hell and back, and there's something kind of haunting him underneath his very dark navy blue fedora. He's wearing a navy blue trench coat that matches his hat, and a black vest, shirt, and tie underneath. You can see right underneath his left arm, there is a holster that holds a 1911 Smith & Wesson. Nice, beautiful black dress pants and some perfect loafers to go with it. Yeah, that's my character.
Fantastic. Okay, so information gathering. How are we going about doing this?
Find his loved ones.
Well, they're Capone. We can do it one of two ways. We can either split up. You can get with your contacts. I can get with my contacts, and we can handle this one at a time.
We could. If I reach out to mine, I think that's all we'll need, but we may as well utilize two sources. Make some people feel useful.
That's how we're going to play this.
So,
I mean, we could draw down right now, and there would be no problem with me.
I go where I'm needed.
We got
I
it.
like you. I'm staying with you.
such an unbeautiful way of looking at life. But fine, let's reach out to your contacts first.
I mean, as long as you're okay with that. I mean, do we need to get you some shiny lip gloss or whatever you need to make yourself feel pretty before we do this, or what?
I mean, I can do this alone, but you'll want my help.
Oh, I also forgot to say that Merle Earp rolls his own cigarettes, and he's got a leather pouch on his left hip with his Uncle Wyatt's U.S. Marshal badge from 1868.
So that's actually very interesting. All of the other vampires, and well, Merle as well, but most of the other vampires, anytime they've seen you mess with your tobacco, anytime they've seen you roll a cigarette, they've given you a weird look, but you're intimidating enough of a presence that they haven't said anything. And while you don't get the benefits of smoking anymore because you're a vampire, you have no need to breathe. Your lungs don't work. It's the habit from your past life that keeps you going.
Yeah, it was my Uncle Doc's fault.
Yeah, so
You can't die from it, so.
it's a weak way to live.
Smells pretty
Oh my
gross.
god, this guy, I can't stand this motherfucker.
So, what are we doing? Are we splitting up? Or are we sticking together?
No, I mean, I could reach out to my human contacts, see if we can find little Timmy. Hopefully he's not in a well somewhere. Maybe he should be. That'll make him easier to find.
Well,
Orlando, do you have any other ideas?
at the moment, I haven't really drawn a board yet, so I'm more open to ideas than you guys are.
Yes, the detectives have always been very helpful. Anyways, Merle, let's go on.
What was that? I was too busy understanding that long-winded way of saying he's got no clue what we're supposed to do.
I know what we're supposed to do. I just don't know how to do it yet. I don't have contacts that can help me in this pod. It's up to you.
I'm so happy.
That's actually a very good point that he brings up. While most of you have seen or have spoken to other people that are not a part of the masquerade, or if they are, they're not in the same type of situation that you are in. Orlandio hasn't at all. It's almost like he doesn't necessarily have a lot of outside contact of what you've
Right.
seen. He does occasionally, once a month, he does occasionally go disappear for a day or two. And when he does come back from these excursions, he's almost entirely distraught. He doesn't say anything, he doesn't speak to anyone about it, but he is very clearly upset, like longingly upset.
Yeah.
No, goody, the police department.
Okay. How do you do that?
Oh, he's going. Merle's gonna very not so confidently take out his phone and stare at it for a little bit until he can figure out how this stupid new age technology works. And then eventually he's just going to get out his piece of paper, find the address, and look outside to see if the sun's down. He's probably just going to go there.
You'll actually have to poke your head out like the front door because the room you're in, the little warehouse room, doesn't have any windows for safety.
Well, then what I'm going to do, because I'm not an idiot, is I'm going to walk up to the door and like open it, but have my back towards the door to see if any light comes through the crack before I actually walk out. Because I feel like that'd be a quick one shot for me if I didn't.
Sundown. Yeah, no, definitely. That would you would have happen what they call the final death.
No tan for these guys.
I'm sure if it was sunlight outside, Sal would be real upset at my untimely demise. All right.
Yes.
Well, I'm gonna head out. To anybody coming, or y'all want to sit here?
I'd probably be following
twiddle
to
your
see how
fucking
you
thumbs?
contact a human. That'd be my peak interest, is to see how you're contacting human.
Perfect. Let's go. I'm just gonna
Okay.
call you O, because
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm gonna call you O.
I've been called many things.
I bet you have.
Yeah. So how are you gonna
So
contact
you use
these
your
mortals?
phone.
There we go.
No. You go ahead. You go ahead. Please do the role play.
So how do you exactly
Yeah.
contact a,
All right.
a
Well,
human?
look, it's gonna go like this for a second. Just hold on a second.
What the fuck is that? Like, I know he explained it, but what does it do? Where are you supposed to put it?
Oh my god.
All right. Anyway, we're gonna walk down to the precinct.
Okay.
Real quick, and Merle's gonna kind of very non-discreetly just kind of stroll on down, trying not to draw attention to himself. And as he gets to the precinct, he's going to drop a letter in a small crack on the bricks, knowing that that's where Sean's going to look when he comes in later tonight.
And now, do we just wait?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they give you these things. It's just all this plastic, and the buttons don't make no sense, and it's just much easier just to...
Where does the light come from? That's my key. Like, why is it different colors?
Tell me where the light comes from. I just
don't know.
handwritten letter. Nobody does that anymore, and it's a lost art form, and everybody just takes out these fucking plastic things, talks to people 500 miles away, and that's just the person. It's just there's nothing personal about it anymore. It's just lazy.
They're gonna make a small world.
Are you there?
Yeah,
Sal?
right.
Yeah, I assumed we all went because we're We were just sitting hard thumbs in the warehouse.
All right, well then I'm
Okay,
going to stay
we all
farther
know.
ahead because I don't want to be walking through the streets of Atlanta with a giant man that skipped leg day in a pink boxing robe.
Well, you guys do friendly again. A reminder: you're given access to a vehicle, so you can drive around if you so choose
I don't know
and
how to
stay
drive.
parked or whatever.
I don't got any driving skills.
I know how to ride a horse. I don't know how to drive.
Sure, my character will drive the group around.
The Bob boss driving the cronies.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like,
I'm just going to be the first
I
one
don't
to say
normally have to drive.
my death day was 1893. So even after the whole vampire thing happened, cars still weren't a thing for a long time.
Hmm. Yeah, my date of death is unknown. The day that I was born. Okay.
My character's never learned to drive.
So
Same.
That's fair.
you've pulled up to the precinct, and Sal has comfortably parked the car somewhere kind of in a back corner. It's better to be a little more discreet, especially with how loud and presentable some of your crew can be. So you, Merle, you've wandered over to a side alley that you know most of the cops that go to smoke will frequent, and Sean is one of those. So you've left your note, very politely asking if he has any information on a Timotheus Hale, and if there's any way that you could possibly get into contact or find where he lives, and that you're looking for him for business reasons. At this point, you and Sean have a good enough working relationship that he doesn't really question you. He is curious, but he doesn't question. And it's about an hour later, I would say, of chilling, hanging out, waiting politely. Maybe even one of you has decided you've gotten restless legs and have started pacing around the block. But you have noticed throughout that hour, you finally go check, and there's another note. So Sean did at some point come out, and he took his little smoke break, had a little bit of a cigar, and his note back to you clearly states that the name Timotheus Hale doesn't come up with anybody in the system. And he checked. He checked a couple of systems. The name is unfamiliar, doesn't come up. There's no address, there's no proof of employment anywhere. And it seems to him that this Timotheus has never gotten in trouble with the law.
All right, boys. We may have to go Sal's way because our Mark seems to not have a record at all. So we got no fingerprints, no nothing through APD. So
Did we get?
say something smart, Sal. Go ahead.
He's gonna lower the music, and he's been playing just straight piano music the whole car ride as he lowers it.
Merle is incredibly happy with that.
Same. Orlando's probably just like back and forth with his head.
Orlando, Merle, how'd that go?
I swear to God, if we weren't a team,
Very good experience. Got to
shut
see
up.
a couple people walking. Okay.
We didn't get shit. All right, is that what you want to hear?
Oh, yes, it is. It's just so lovely to hear that the legal system is so well still.
You
for all
irritate
these
me to
years.
my very core. I hope you know that.
Now, do you want to do it the right way? As he just has a work shit grin on his face, just looking over the.
Sure.
I'll take that as a yes. Silence is. All right. As he pulls out the phone from like inside of his suit coat, looks back and punches in from his black book one of the contacts that he uses to gather information. More so lower, like on the street level, that might understand that maybe Timotheus is either a nickname or someone that's unemployed, probably frequents some bars or something. So he will try it that way
Um,
and see what he gets.
so your first contact, the person that you call, the lower level, his name is I didn't actually come up with a name for this guy. So you call Riker. You know, while he's not a very high level individual in your group, he's very new, still green behind the ears, but he's very good at getting information. And what information he can't gather, he knows people who can gather it. And when you call him, he sounds, the music that comes through on the other side of the phone is very clearly house music. Like, it's a bop. You hear him very loudly shout, "Oh, give me a second. I gotta hold on. I gotta go get outside." And after a couple of minutes, it gets quieter, and he finally goes, "Whew, sorry about that. Been busy hanging out with your great uncle Dick, so I'm in the middle of shit. So, what's up? What can I do for you, man?"
Dick's probably telling you stories of old.
Yeah, doesn't he
Um,
always?
Sometimes. Sorry. Anyways, Timotheus. We're hoping to find someone. He's a unemployed ragamuffin. I'm not sure who he is. How can you help me?
Oh, well, Timotheus. I don't know any Timotheus. Huh. You know what?
You just-
Where are you at right now in the city?
Well, not my normal spot. We're in front of the
Mom's house.
we can meet you somewhere else. I don't convening in front of the police department. That's
Oh, no.
definitely.
But that's great. That gives me like 20, 30 minutes to sit down with some people and talk some things over, give my guy a call. Meet at your uncle's club. I got you. I'm busy with some other stuff, so I can't really leave right now. But if you meet us there, I got you. 20, 30 minutes tops. I got that information.
Support the family. And he'll hang up. That's all he'll say. He'll hang up for.
So at that point, you drive towards the club. Traffic's a little clogged. I mean, it's Atlanta, so what are you going to do about it? But it's also a weekend evening, so there's quite a bit of traffic. You almost get sideswiped,
Yeah.
actually.
As long
I'm
as you don't have to
sure
go over
Logan
Spaghetti
at that
Junction
point
to get there, right?
sticks his arm out the window and starts, like, really giving him a fist.
Hey yo.
I hate this.
Oh man, I'm getting nope. Okay, not important. Great. So when you finally pull up the club, it's poppin', and you Sal, you know that this club is really easily just a front. It helps keep prying eyes from getting too involved with your family's main business: arm dealing, alcohol moving, a little bit of drugs, but nothing too scandalous. After all, your family does have standards. So parking is a little more difficult. You've got to park somewhere a little further down, but only about 3 or 4 blocks. You head over
Pretty
to
good
all
for
of
a
you.
weekend
I
night in
assume
Atlanta.
exit the car.
It's not bad.
Yeah, before they exit the car, because Merle is not very comfortable in clubs like this, he's going to pull the loading action back and make sure everything's all set to go, and then pull the hammer back until it clicks once on each of his revolvers.
I don't think I have any weapons.
I'm gonna lean over to Logan and kind of mumble in his ear. Good at scrapping?
You saying you want to start a fight?
I'm not saying I want to start a fight. I want to know who I should hide behind and not get rebounded with a bullet by accident.
Well, hot damn, Sal, we have some of the bravest motherfuckers in this group.
You see, when guns come out, Logan just dodges the bullets because not even a bullet can beat Logan.
We can test that theory.
I do have rapid reflexes.
So do I.
And you plan on fighting in the bar?
No, I guess this one does. Only if it calls for it.
Only if it immediately calls for it, because we don't need to start no trouble, because people just won't understand what we are. They get all scared, they get all nervous, and then, I like my head sitting where it is, so let's try to be professional about this, you two, Sal. As much as I don't like you, I understand you have impeccable professionalism. I'm mainly talking about the other two.
Logan never swings first, he always swings last.
You mean second?
Last.
No, I think he means he finishes the fight. It was actually kind of clever. Very beautiful and poetic.
You say beautiful one more fucking
Mobsters
time.
on it.
I swear.
I suggest not starting a fight going into my club for a lot of reasons. My family won't take kindly to that.
Oh, I have
Sorry.
no plan on starting a fight. I'm just gonna be prepared in case some shit goes down. I mean, you know me. I don't start nothing.
All right. Well, Orlando, are you
Yeah.
in agreement?
I'll fight if someone fights me.
Well then, let's go. As he puts his book away in his phone, makes his way to the club.
I follow.
Orlando, you should probably invest in a real man's gun at some point,
I don't ever use it.
because I've seen those things jam from time or two, and these don't jam. I'm just
Noted.
saying.
Neither does stilettos.
That's fine. I've never shot a bullet yet. Never had to. My hand
Logan
gets
doesn't-
to work before I have a chance to reach for it. And after
Look.
saying that, I follow in behind Sal.
Oh, I see.
So is just for the purposes of walking up to the building, are you leading the group, Sal, or is somebody else in front of you?
I think I would
It
personally let
depends.
Sal, because it's his family's thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, however they want to walk. Like, it's not like I just am walking with like diction and authority to somewhere I'm comfortable
Cool.
with.
As you start to approach the building, Orlando actually would know. Sal wouldn't, just because that's not specifically something he's considered. Orlando would know that this club actually is a big hotspot for ghouls. And for those of us unfamiliar, I'm sure the audience is, a ghoul is the term for a vampire thrall. So a human that is connected to a vampire. You would know that this is one of the bigger hotspots, actually. It's a very classy, very low key club, and as such, it attracts a lot of people in the proximity of the masquerade. You know that there's not really common fights that break out. A lot of the ghouls are very well behaved. They know better than to cause problems for their vampire master. But as you all approach the door, there's a very stocky, very tall, thick boy of a bodyguard standing at the front, a bouncer. And there's a whole long line of people. There's a bunch of scantily clad women in very shiny dresses, and they're all dressed up. There's a lot of men in equal attire, and everybody looks like they're practically begging to get inside. The bodyguard or the bouncer looks completely unimpressed. Definitely a bored man doing a job that he knows pays the bills. But the moment that he sees you, he goes stock straight, immediately changes his demeanor, all business. And then as you get closer, he goes, "Oh, Sal, I didn't know I was going to see you tonight. Hi, boss. Do you, is this you and your friends? Are you, let me show you, let me just let you inside." And he steps aside and holds the curtain for you.
He doesn't say anything to the bodyguard. He pulls out his book and looks at him very skeptically and makes a note, and walks past him.
I think Merle would probably have his head on a swivel this entire time because knowing this club is owned by a criminal organization, and Merle being who Merle is, he's just going to be checking hips and checking underneath arms and just making sure nothing is out of place.
I'm staying with Logan. I know that if fight's gonna break out, I want to be behind him.
Logan's just flipping off the losers that can't get in it. He's not even looking at them. He's just holding his as he's walking by.
Oh, he's also going to tip the hat to the bouncer.
He gives you a respectful nod back, but since watching Sal take out his notebook and make a note and say nothing to him, he looks a lot more uncomfortable and almost, he's not sweaty per se, but he definitely looks concerned for a moment. And he's trying to play it off as best he can.
Were you the fashion police, Sal?
What?
Was he not working his tie?
So as you enter the club, it's your typical club environment. Low lights, there's pinks and purples and light shows, and even a fog machine recently got added, so there's some fog close to the floor, and there's your typical club music. The DJ's on a little stand off to himself, thumping the music, living his life. The dance floor is thriving. The bartenders look like they're getting a workout from how many people are repeatedly asking for them to come and make a drink or give them a drink that isn't necessarily on the menu, but they might have all the ingredients for. When one of the bartenders, because you have to pass the bar in order to get to the back section, when one of the bartenders notices you, Sal, he nods at you and then quickly, in the middle of making a drink, sets it down and pops off to the side, runs past and around the bar, off to a dark corner, where the VIP section is. And reasonably speaking, you've done this plenty of times before. You know that bartender. His name is Joey. And Joey typically will go let your family know that you're in the building and that you will be arriving in just a moment. And as such, you see him a couple of seconds later quickly pop back to the bar, pass off the drink that he was making to a different bartender, and start making drinks for everybody else. Because he's seen you come in with a few people, and you do typically get a drink here. Now, before we get too involved with the alcohol, I will inform our lovely vampires and our lovely viewers who are unfamiliar. Most vampires, just like with the tobacco and smoking, most vampires can eat food or drink liquids not typically used for them, like the human food and human drink. You can ingest them, not always successfully, as you've all seen at least one vampire drink something or eat something and then 10 minutes later threw up their entire insides all over everything.
Nice.
But you also know that it's possible to drink and eat human food, and you have before. And let me pull up one of the character sheets so I can make sure I'm reading the thing appropriately.
It helps me blend in.
What if we feed from someone who's already severely drunk? Does that have any effect on us?
Is there BAC?
So
Or
your
like tripping
clan-
on Molly?
So the only person that would affect actually would be Sal. Your clan, if you have the discipline, and I think you do, you can. It's pretty much like like an empath. You feel how the human you're drinking from feels. So
Yeah.
if they're
I have
aroused, if they're
heightened
afraid,
senses.
if they're drunk, yeah.
Right.
Let's see. So
Presence and dominate. and all.
there's a term that I'm looking for. Hold on. I gotta find it. I deeply apologize.
No, you're good.
But
So
while
you're
as
doing
Joey's
that,
making like drinks for the group. Sorry, Austin, go ahead.
That's
no,
what
I
it
was gonna
is.
say while you're doing that, I'm gonna be looking at the bar to see how many girls are up there going, "Bartender, take a shot with me,"
When?
because I've been in the Atlanta club scene and I know that shit happens.
I'm gonna take just a glass of red from the bar and look back. It's on me tonight, boy. Enjoy and slide like well more than this is going back into my pockets.
Oh,
Right.
Logan, does anything happen with my predator sense?
Ooh, that's a great question, actually. I'm probably gonna have to Google that really quick, but I will say,
Yeah.
when it comes to drinking and eating human food, ingesting human substances or food or drink, you as a vampire, you'll have to make what's called a rouse check, and that will determine if you can manage to keep the alcohol down or not. So you don't have to actually drink the drink. You can just pretend to if that's how you feel best to go about it. Just to not risk anything. And I believe the rouse check is a
I'm
I
gonna
would
say that
probably
Sal
put
does
it
drink because it's more beautiful that way.
okay. So make me a rouse composure check. I'm trying to make sure I don't have your sheet pulled up currently, so I don't know how many dice you
It's
would
okay.
roll.
So, what's the roll based off of? And we can work that. So resolve.
Right. Your hold on, I gotta pull up your sheet. I tried to have everybody's sheet pulled up on my laptop, and then my internet was like, "Yeah, we're gonna be
Do
dead."
that.
So no, so I stopped doing that. There it is. Let's see.
My attributes are pretty good.
You know what? How about, because I'm not as familiar with that as I should be, which is on me. How about we do a let's just do a composure resolve roll. If you're gonna drink, give me a composure resolve roll.
Okay.
I will also
And
drink, but I also have 2 points in eat food. It helps me blend in.
Yes. So that would give you I want to say that just means you get more, like you would get to add 2 rolls to, like 2 more dice to your roll of trying to ingest food. Bro, I'm
That's
trying to do something.
composure resolve.
Yes.
So I have
Because
4 in
it's a
composure and 3 in resolve. Does that mean I roll 7 dice? I don't actually know. Yeah.
yeah, so you would roll 5 d10s.
I see.
Oh, you
I would do this. Oopsie. There goes that one.
anything above a 5, so 6 and above is a success. 5 and below is a failure.
How
Or
many
no, 4
dice?
4 and below is a failure.
I got
How many?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 successes, but I got 2 10s.
Ooh, okay. So let me get everybody else's roll, but I will keep that in mind. Thank you.
So it's 5d10s.
If you're drinking, if you're not drinking, you don't have to roll.
Okay.
Okay, yeah,
character would
Orlando's
not
like, I'm good.
Dagan, I'll
Nah,
help you
that
out.
seems
How many
pointless.
points? How many dots do you have on composure?
Me?
Yeah,
I have 1 on composure and 3 on resolve, so it'd be 5 total, right?
4.
4? Okay.
Yeah, it'd be all 4 of those.
Fuck it. Still drink. Call the leftover habit.
I'm more so. My Orlando is more so just kind of watching you guys and
2,
not judging, but being
3.
majorly confused into why you guys are even doing this.
3 out of the 4 success. 1 was a 10.
Okay. I didn't hear what your rolls were, Sal.
So I'm just confused. So I rolled 5 dice, 2 10s, an 8, a 7, and a 1.
Yeah, I got an 8, 5, and a 10.
I don't add
4.
anything to the
No,
dice?
no. They only need to know
No.
how many you got above a 6.
3 out of 4.
4 out of 5.
So you got 4 successes.
Okay, wow. So everybody
And two-
did pretty
two
good.
tens.
Oh, you got a crit too.
So
Yeah.
Sal orders these drinks for everybody.
A crit is 2
And-
10s. 1 10 doesn't matter. 2 10s is the crit.
And so Joey immediately has whatever drinks, like, he knows you prefer wine, so he gets a glass of wine for you ready. He does inquire with the other 2 individuals that have decided to drink. He asks Orlando if he would like anything, and Orlando very, very much is like, no, I'm good. Thank you. I definitely don't need that. And while he does give you a weird look and gives Sal a confused look, he keeps his mouth and doesn't question it and makes the 2 of you drinks as well. Whatever those drinks you would like. I assume probably like bourbon or whiskey.
Old fashioned.
Okay. Or even
Okay.
a beer, I guess, for Logan here. And Orlando, confused as to why
Yep.
all of these vampires are in fact ingesting something he knows is technically considered poisonous to vampires. Surprisingly, all of you do fine. There's a moment, Logan, where you feel weird, but it passes quickly. It's easy to get past.
Just like a pressure burp. You're like, ugh, and then it's fine.
Exactly. It feels weird. You're like, oh no, was this a bad idea? And then it passes and you're fine.
Hold on,
So,
I have to roll
all of
one
you-
more because I forgot to roll a blood dice because I have a hunger. 1 second.
Oh, okay.
It's a success, so good.
Fantastic. So after you get your drinks and you all make a show of, oh, sir, can you not do?
Itty.
I like.
It's when you fail on your blood dice because we all have 1 hunger,
Sorry,
so you
my cat's
automatically have to roll
being
a
a
red
jerk.
hunger
The
dice. It's when you fail on those that Logan gets to have some fun with us.
Oh, I don't like that.
I don't.
Well, that's how vampires work. Just be lucky you only have 1 hunger and you don't have, say, 3 hunger, because that would mean you're ravenous. And if you're ravenous, well, there's no telling if you'll be clean about your feeding.
Bitey boy.
Which is a problem for the 3 of y'all because my predator type is blood leech.
It's not just a problem for the 3 of them. If the Camarilla and the Prince, which is the lead individual for the entire masquerade, the Prince is not just a title. It is a title, but it carries a lot of weight. The Prince has final say in every single aspect of the masquerade. Something happens, he knows about it. In fact, you all know from personal experience through one way or the other that a vampire who breaks the code of the masquerade is brought before the prince and beheaded as as like a show to the others. Yeah, fun times. So
My first betting.
Yay.
Sal wanders back towards the VIP section where it's a little quieter. And standing just outside of the booth is Riker, your contact. He's not necessarily talking on the phone, but he is messaging somebody, which you know, and all of those of us alive and old enough in 2005 to understand this concept, he's running up those minutes. For some reason, he's decided texting is the way to go.
Is it after 9?
So,
Because
Yeah.
after 9, you're good.
Is it Verizon or Verizon?
Can you hear me now?
No, it's singular wireless.
Oh my god. Where's Cricket when you need it? Total side note, you guys remember that Jitterbug phone?
Yes. I
Yeah.
do.
What a time to be alive. Anyway,
Yeah.
so
If we have any people under the age of 18, they are so lost with
they have
everything
no
we've
idea
just
what's
said.
going on.
All people.
Yeah, sorry, not sorry, y'all.
Yeah.
Listen, I would have done a 2023 setting, but there were some extenuating circumstances, and so I decided on 2005. Who cares? For those of you who... So, you get to be about a foot or two away from Riker. And it's a club, so it's loud, and there are people still fluctuating past you, wandering to and from. While this is the VIP section, and your family always gets first dibs on which booth they prefer to sit at, it still needs to make money. It's still a front. So there's also several other tables that are around in the VIP section that are full with various businessmen and scantily clad women and people you would probably know, Sal, to be escorts, as that's also common in the club. And every escort that uses your club and is provided a sanctuary here gives you just a little bit off the top for it, as is the business. So Riker doesn't look up right away, as he's still communicating with whomever he's talking to. But when you do get close enough, he looks up and he gives you a wide grin. Riker has long brown hair. It's tied back, pulled back into a low ponytail. He's wearing clothing that's very similar to Sal's. A nice business shirt, very nice slacks, good shoes. Although his shirt is unbuttoned, 3 top buttons, because he likes looking classy. And he gives you a wave. Hey, boss! Yeah, I totally got that name for you. I didn't have it, actually. Gonna be honest, I didn't even know where to start. Talked to a couple of people. They didn't know either. But your uncle, I brought it up to him. He knows exactly the kind of person that you're looking for. Or well, not necessarily knows him, because your uncle doesn't know those kinds of people, but he talked to somebody else, and he's got the information with you. And he points his thumb over to the booth where your uncle, Great Uncle Dick, who is still a human, and most of the people that you've interacted with in this club so far have been humans. In fact, there's not necessarily a large group of vampires, but you have passed a couple of them. Because everybody in the masquerade, generally speaking, can pick up on others that are of the kindred, which is what vampires are called. So you all step into this booth. You slide into the seats, and your great uncle Dick, who's very clean, like he's very well put together. almost like Wilder was with his thick hair and his all slicked back, but this time instead of Wilder's wave of texture, your uncle's hair is slicked back, nice and like I'm trying to remember like what the actual term for it or like things that the white girls are calling the term for it nowadays. But he's got very nicely slicked back hair. It stops about at the nape of his neck. He's got some peppering going on, some salt and pepper at the edges, and his goatee is a little salt and pepper. There are two women in the booth as well. One's a blonde woman and one's a brunette woman. They're both wearing pretty much the same dress in different colors. One's silver, one's gold. Comes just below their pubic bone. Very obviously, these women are with your uncle for the entertainment of the as the evening goes. He sees you, both one arm wrapped around the blonde woman and his other hand wrapped around a glass of scotch. And he's got the easy smile that you've always known him to have on his face. Ah, my favorite nephew. How are you doing? Haven't seen you in a
Enjoying
little
yourself.
while, of course. Ah, don't I always? But that's business. Work hard, play harder.
Are you blending pleasure? Or are you focused only on business?
I'm always focused, my boy. Now, speaking of focus, Riker informed me that you would like information on a certain person. And I have it. But I have one question for you. What would you need with a man like that?
Huh. Men like what exactly? We don't know
Pathetic?
much about them.
Useless? Pointless? Well, either way, I'm sure it has to do with that little side business you've had for a few years. I must say, whatever that side business is, it's kept your skin looking phenomenal. If I can't imagine you got your aging from your father. Must come from that beautiful mom of yours, huh? Anyway,
Always barking the wrong tree, Uncle.
he gives you a very wry smile.
Well,
This
as you know, we need this gun. I will donate to the family's cause, but don't let my guests, my accomplices here, be way too long.
Yes, it's interesting company you keep, as he gives the rest of your crew a look over. He actually like he glances over you all, but his eyes linger on Orlando as Orlando looks probably the most uncomfortable out of all of you. Um, but he says nothing about it, as you've always kept interesting company, in his opinion. So he removes his arm from around the blonde woman, and he slides his hand into his coat pocket, much like you do. Pulls out a similar looking little black notebook, flips to a page, sets it on the table, and slides it over. It's not much information, but, well, let's be honest. That Timmy of yours, he's not much of a person. It gives you an address. And since most of you have grown up in this area, or at least Sal and Orlando are very familiar. He's in the home that you're looking for is at an address in Noonan, Georgia, which is about a 45-minute drive from Atlanta, so not very far. It won't take you a crazy amount of time to get there. A mini road trip, if you will. And that's pretty much all it says, really. Like, there's not much to go off of. It gives you the same Timotheus Hale. He's a male, 26, unemployed, has been his entire life, and that he lives at home with his mother, Cecilia. And other than that, there's really nothing to go off of. He's a really, like your uncle said, he's an unremarkable human and has done so little that no one really has any information on him. Cecilia is a nurse practitioner and works at one of the larger hospitals in the city, and has a couple of higher recommendations actually from her superiors, and that's about all the information he pulled for you. He takes a
I'll
long sip of his drink.
I'll after finishing reading it, I'm lean down and kind of like give like a respectful half hug to Dick and just be showing respect like to the whoever's around, and then stand up. Make sure you throw a bone to Joey and Riker. They're useful as always. I appreciate their quickness here.
Of course, we do appreciate a useful individual, and we all know that's why I keep them employed. Is there anything else I could give you this evening, nephew? A lovely lady, as he gestures to the brunette, who gives you a little finger wave and giggles in that typical fashion. More
Boys,
drinks.
anything you want? Logan.
See, he'll look all that kind of like an awkward little. No more drinks. That was enough for me.
The newer generations.
I'll take one more old fashioned over here if that's all right.
My kind of man. And he simply waves his hand off towards the door, and Riker sees this and immediately squirrels off to go inform the bartender. And after a couple of minutes, returns with your old fashioned. Make me another roll if you're gonna drink it.
Like past
Merle,
the head.
like intentionally, like Sal to Merle will give like almost like an approving, like nod, like out of like respect for taking the offer.
And the opposite from Orlando. I'm
Yeah,
just so confused into why you're doing this. We don't need to do it.
It's true.
And
yeah,
actually,
so Sal. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was your uncle actually looks at Orlando very pointedly and gives him a once over, a very slow up and down.
What are you looking at?
You're an interesting looking man. You give me the type of energy that a man of particular tastes would. And he slides his hand into his pocket and pulls out what upon first glance looks kind of like an Altoid container, actually, weirdly enough. And when he pops it open and tugs the chain from under his suit pocket, his suit collar, pops the Altoid container open. It's a small Altoid container full of cocaine, and he has removed from his suit a Coke spoon.
Damn it. Damn it.
4 successes.
Orlando,
Okay.
you
Nice.
can't refuse my uncle just a piece of recommendation.
When I do this, if I don't become Orlando anymore, Are you sure you don't want me to refuse?
It's that or you're ahead. Consider the
Keep
situation.
Logan near me. And what do I got to roll again?
I would probably count this as a same type of like substance that would be like food.
Okay.
But
But for your
because
nose.
it doesn't work in the same fashion and tobacco has absolutely no effect on vampires at all, and it's also a substance, I'm going to say that I'm going to drop your and this is just Logan not doing appropriately playing the TTRPG. I'm going to drop that difficulty. So if you get a 3 or above, it's a success.
Okay. And I do how many of those again? Just making sure I have the right amount of dice.
Look at your
So that would have been a
Fine. I'm looking at
yeah,
them.
so that would have been a composure resolve.
Yeah, first one was a 2.
Okay.
A 1.
when you
No
just
shots.
when you just send us more dice.
Oh, and I got a 4. And then
It's gonna be
5.
ripped.
5 and a 2. So 2 successes and 3 fails.
Okay.
Did you roll your blood dice?
The Altoid
No.
container.
10. I'm fine.
Nice.
With a 0, right? A 0 is 10.
Yeah, that's a
Okay.
0. What? The 1 is a 1.
Yes.
I just okay,
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
So the Altoid container is slid over to you, and the spoon is set aside next to it. Would you say that Orlando has ever been around this substance before?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So you've seen other people do this, and you've not necessarily tried it yourself, especially not in recent years, because you know that vampires don't really react to
Neither.
substances normally.
Drugs
Um,
are bad.
But you take your little spoon that he's given you, and because you're the type of person to do so, you give it a cursory clean. Like you take your sleeve and you just kind of clean it off from any previous leftover mucus from someone else. You absolutely take a little scoop, give yourself a little bump. And as a vampire, you know this substance is not going to affect you. You know that it's not going to hit you in the same way that it hits humans. You're not really going to feel the effects. What does happen is that your nose immediately feels like it's on fire. And you start sneezing and coughing.
Snorted Tabasco sauce, basically.
That was good. And I'm walk behind Logan again.
Hey man, watch my glass.
like what's his name from Cat in the Hat?
No.
Logan doesn't play in the snow unless it's winter time.
You are definitely Randy Savage. Like, let's stop beating around the bush. That is exactly who this character is.
Yeah, I went for like boxer, but with like a WWE like personality.
It's a vibe.
It's fun.
All right, before you all embarrass me, let's get out. And I'm just gonna like take Orlando and be like, "Okay, come on," and like try to push you along.
After that display, your great uncle is laughing. Thankfully, he found that whole situation very funny, and so he takes his Altoid container back, does a bump himself, and offers it off to the 2 escorts that he has for the evening. And he, before you really get out of distance from being able to hear him, he says, don't forget, next week, it's your aunt's birthday. She'll be terribly upset if you don't show up."
Uncle, I will make my best attempt to be there, but as you know, I'm busy running plenty of our family business. But
Of
I will
course.
not disappoint. not.
You never do. And then he goes back to enjoying the company that he has and his drink. Do you all make your way out towards the outside of the bar?
I probably can't even see where I'm going because I'm sneezing so much.
I'm
I'm
gonna
just
help.
following where the hand is pushing me.
Yeah, I'm gonna help Sal guide Orlando out, but he'll definitely tip his hat at the ladies as he leaves, just out of a sign of respect for everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. They definitely giggle. The ones that make eye contact with you and see, very flattering. The bouncer easily lets you out. Gives you a polite nod, tells you to have a good evening, take care of yourself. Even Joey gives you a wave of respect as you go to leave. It's only a few more blocks to your car. You make your way over, get in, and you can do one of two things because this is 2005. So you can either pull out the map, a city map with all of a good solid map that's got all the highways and things and can get a rough estimation of where you're going, or you can map quest this shit.
Hey, go with the map. Don't map quest. We're not doing that mess because that'll get you lost. We're just gonna do the regular city map because map quest was garbage.
Or
It's
Orlando
because you'll
tries.
miss an exit.
Orlando tries to butt in, but like as I'm trying to talk, it's like mid sneeze. I'm trying to get it to come out or hold it back, but I can't make my decision, so I just put my hand down and I just try to hold back all the sneezing.
Sal, listen for a second, man. I just need to get this off my chest right quick. We got one guy that's can't handle himself, so he's sneezing everywhere in the back, and then we've got another guy that constantly talks in third person. So I'm really feeling like it's gonna come down to a me and you thing, and we don't necessarily like each other because you're a crooked criminal piece of shit and everything. But I'm really thinking it's going to require me and you both to work together to figure out where this character is because I have no confidence in those two back there.
And then I'll probably be done sneezing and I'll be like, oh, I don't talk in third person.
The Tower of Power, too sweet to be sour.
See what I mean?
Merle, once again, not a criminal. First of all, I didn't carry a gun to a club, now did I?
I did.
That's my points.
These guns. No license necessary, no
Alright.
cleaning needed.
Let's finish the job at hand. Yes, Orlando, I would assume that you should be able to get us to the snow.
Yeah.
I can drive, but you should be able to figure it out.
And I'm probably both my hands are right where Merle is, and I'm head over his seat, looking at the road. I'm right. You could feel my breath, probably how close I am to your face. Go straight.
Merle grew up with horses and stagecoaches. That really doesn't bother him at all.
Perfect.
Horse teeth and spice.
And as our lovely hodgepodge crew makes their way 45 minutes to Noonan, Georgia, that's where we're going to take our break. We'll be back in 10 minutes, y'all.
They did great.
Thank y'all.
I got so many more quotes for you.
Taking